Great. I was going to fold and do a story time, but I mean, what can I, what can I do? Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Lisa Schwartz, and typically on Wednesdays, today it's Thursday because we'll watch yesterday's video and you'll get caught up, but we fold and do a story time. It is a wonderful way to get your chores done and have some company while doing it. So I have quickly declared this my favorite day because truly, I have so much laundry to get through, so thanks for being here. Today, I'm gonna get started. I thought I would talk about something that I don't think I've talked about. If anything, it's been years on my channel, and I figured it was a good time to revisit it. You guys saw the title, you clicked on the video, so in theory, you understand what you're in store for. That being said, I do want to preface this by saying everyone's experiences is completely different. I actually think, spoiler alert, in the end, my experience was really great compared to a lot that or a lot of stories, experiences, and stuff that I've heard from other people dealing with divorce. But today we are talking about divorce and what that was like for me growing up with parents who were divorced. I don't feel like we hear about this a lot. Maybe I'm just not, I'm watching fashion videos, so I guess why would I? But I do think it's kind of, well, very much prevalent and interesting topic. So yeah, let's dive in. The reason why this came up and I was thinking, oh, this would be an interesting topic to talk about is because I am about to head out on a trip with my mom and dad, the three of us traveling alone, the three of us. We haven't done that since probably I went to go look for colleges. So, I mean, it's going to definitely be an interesting experience. That being said, again, starting at the end and working backwards, my parents are still good friends. They are wonderful co-parents, and they have really been great mentors in terms of how to deal with relationships even if they have ultimately failed. I just paused and I was like, should I start all over again? I get nervous talking about sensitive subjects like this for so many reasons. One, I want to protect the people I'm talking about, so if there's some vagueness, just know that's just because I feel like some things are mine to tell and other things are other people's to tell, and also I want to be sensitive to people out there who actually are either going through divorce or have experienced tumultuous parent divorce. So, here I am. I'm just trying my best. Anyways, growing up was great, fine, the usual stuff. Parents fought, but nothing super dramatic. I feel very lucky in that respect. Our parents took really great care of us. They gave us everything we needed and then some. So, just a normal thing. If you read my book, I did note and notice parents fighting, but it was never to the point of something super scary. I was just acutely aware of it. I'm also a very sensitive person and was a very sensitive kid, so I picked up on things probably more so than my brother did or other kids would. So anyhow, brother goes off to college. He's 2 years older than me. And then I go to college. I go to UC Irvine. I've talked about school before. And I stay in the dorms for my freshman year. I get a call right before the end of freshman year going into the summer. And it is a conference call. Do you guys remember those? Do they still do those? And it was my parents. And I was eating a burrito. And it's so weird. I can't remember literally what I did yesterday, but I remember the moment, this moment so specifically. I was sitting at my desk in my dorm room eating a burrito, got the conference call, and they were both on the phone, which was really nice, to tell me that they were getting separated. I think they said separated, they didn't use the word divorce. So, was I shocked? No. I mean, maybe when I look back, no. Probably at the time I was, because, I mean, I was just enjoying a burrito in my dorm room, not expecting that phone call. I proceeded to eat the rest of the burrito, probably in one bite, out of pure stress. But yeah, it was a little shocking, a lot sad, and I didn't really know where to put those emotions and what to do with it. And I was in college, so I had just finished my freshman year, like I said, and I think the thing that struck me most is well, now, what's home, right? Because dorm room was home, like temporarily, like very acutely aware that it was temporarily or temporary home. So I never really felt like after that point, like I had home, or I needed to figure out and reestablish what home was. So, you know, we had our childhood home that we grew up in, but then suddenly, first my dad moved out, and then my mom was like, no, I don't want to be here by myself. So they swapped, and then my dad was like living in the house, and I just felt like, well, I don't know where home is. Does that make sense? And so instead of like trying to figure it out and work through these emotions, I mean, I was a freshman in college. I was having a party of a time. Like, it just wasn't the right environment for me to actually process what was going on. So I just ignored everything for the next 4 years. So I just didn't go back home. You know, like every summer I found something to do that didn't involve moving back for the summer. So I can't remember when I did freshman year, but I know one year I went to like Shakespeare Santa Cruz. Like, I got jobs during the summer. Like, I just filled the down times when I wasn't in school with stuff so that I didn't have to like move back with one of my parents in this new weird setting. So technically I kind of ignored the divorce for like 4 years. My parents would come down and visit, and I feel like even after they got separated, they came down for one of my plays, because I always did plays in college. I feel like they both came down together to support me. They basically like made, and I won't speak for them, but only just like what I experienced is like they seem to have made a conscious effort to continue to show up as our parents and as co-parents, and support both my brother and I as such. So it was never like one or the other. They always, for the most part, did everything still together for us. And I am so appreciative of that, because that helped with the transition and with the understanding and like with the loss and the anger and all those feelings, like seeing them work together regardless of what was going on with them to support me and support my brother. Like, I think subconsciously at the time was so helpful, and now consciously was such a gift. I mean, I think it would have been a completely different story had they let whatever was going on with them really take over their parenting. And so, yeah, from then on out, they were just working together as a co-parenting team, and it was great. I mean, you know, like, now that I can look back, I realize, like, I feel like they ultimately are a lot happier not being together, and they also have found other partners, and that they make them happy, and the partners have been really wonderful in terms of accepting this modern family that we have. If you guys follow me on Instagram or whatever, if you've been following me here for a while, you'll see, like, we integrate our families like really well. Like, and my dad's been with the same woman for like 15 years. They're not remarried, but they're just, you know, like life partners now. And she is just like such an amazing person in terms of like not only taking our family on as her own, but like also sharing her family with us and always including us and merging. And I don't know, it's just kind of a beautiful thing. So actually, my experience, other than the fact that like I kind of shut down for 4 years. Oh, and then, sorry, I'm jumping all around. Then after college, I failed to mention, and I write about this a lot in my book because it was kind of like a big turning point in my life. I moved back home, like after college. I graduated and I was like, okay, I'm coming back to LA to do this acting thing and blah, blah, blah. And I needed somewhere to live. And so I moved back into my childhood house and back into my bedroom. And it was just me and my dad there. And it was a really weird experience because I had been putting off dealing with all of this for so long that when I got there, I was kind of in shock because the house was the same. It was almost as if nothing had changed. However, it like kind of felt like a frat house version of my house, because like it's my dad living there, you know, like he eats off paper plates and like sometimes doesn't do the dishes, and like there was like remnants of my mom still there, like stuff that she just left, and like my dad didn't clean it out because he's such a dude, like, so it just kind of like, it was like this weird like upside down version of my past life. So it really like hit me like a ton of bricks when I got home. I'm like, oh, now I like have no other choice but to deal with this. And I didn't. So that's really when I started getting panic attacks. Talked about that in a story time not that long ago. I'll leave the links above and below, but yeah, I started getting panic attacks then, and I think a lot of that was like because I was being thrown back into this loss and this trauma. Use that word lightly, but like, you know, parents getting divorced is a trauma, regardless of how good it went. And so I had to deal with it, and I got thrown in head first into the house, and that's again when all the anxiety and stuff started happening. Then I finally started to seek out therapy, and I also started eating better and sleeping better and working out and all that, and kind of turned around my own self. But yeah, other than that, the big takeaways for me now, as obviously as I'm married now, but even before that, when I started dating and really like considering what I wanted in a partner and what I wanted a relationship to look like, I actually like wanted to model a lot of it around my parents. In some ways, no, obviously. There was a lot of things that I would want and do differently. That's human, and you know, hopefully we always try to grow and change and this and that. But the major thing, sorry, I just went like this on camera. I feel so comfortable with you guys that I feel like I could just like snot on my arm and like keep going. But then when I'm editing it, I look back and I'm like, geez, Lisa, like disgusting. Anyhow, so some takeaways here. One, very lucky. All things considered, yes, it was a loss, and yes, it kind of like hit me hard, or rather it was like a slow burn for me, and it definitely like did a mental number on me. But I do think good that came out of it was the importance of relationship, and certain people are in your life for certain reasons, for certain times, this and that. Like my parents were together because they had us, and my mom and dad learned so much from each other, and they grew together, and like I think that their relationship, when it was a marriage, was perfect for the time, and then it broke because it needed to, and now they have reestablished and grown and like have a perfect relationship for what it is, for being our co-parents. And I think there's a lesson in that like I always tried, even after breakups, to like keep a positive attitude. And even like a lot of people I've dated in the past, I'm still friends with. You know, it's very different, and like there needs to be boundaries, especially now that I'm married. But like I do think like certain people come into your life for a reason, and maybe that reason changes and that relationship changes. But to like honor the fact that that person did mean something really special and wonderful at the time, and gifts were given, not just like actual gifts, but like the gifts that we learn in life were given. And I think that there's something really special about that. And I feel like this kind of goes back to you guys were asking the other day. I was doing like a Q&A, and you guys were asking about like how to get over relationships and stuff. And even if you're like super heartburn, I'm such an old lady, heartbroken. It's just like knowing like that you ultimately are able to take some lessons and beautiful, wonderful things from that relationship, but know that like, because now that you have those tools, you're about to like enter into something even greater and bigger, and you're gonna have even more wonderful tools to use to harvest and take care of that relationship, so that relationship is ultimately gonna be even better. Am I making any sense? You know what I mean? So this obviously excludes relationships, and I mentioned this last time too, that were like abusive and terrible and this and that. Like I'm not excusing any of that, but I'm just saying for like relationships that ultimately don't work out, for one reason or another that are like manageable and ultimately healthy, I do think partnerships are for life, whether you have kids or not. Like, you were committed and connected to this person for so long that I think there's a way to honor that and then move on with your life. So I always try to take that with me in every relationship and with every breakup, and even like going into a marriage, being like, okay, listen, the plan of attack here is forever. We set our vows, but also like going into it, it's like, okay, but regardless, we are a partnership for life. And if shit goes down, we're shaky and that like, we're going to handle this with grace and with as much ease as possible and maturity and love for one another. And, you know, we're going into a partnership together. It's like a business deal almost. You sign the papers like it is. It's like a legal like document and a handshake. So, yeah. I guess I'm rambling now, but I always try to find silver lining in things, and I know that that is fucking annoying for a lot of people. Sorry. Sometimes I feel like I annoy my friends because I'm always like, well, let's look at the glass half full. Sorry, Cece. I guess every friend group needs that. It's balance. But I do feel like I try to find the good in all the stuff, and even if it's hurting at the time, like it really did hurt when I moved back home and just felt like a shell and was just trying to figure it all out. But I do feel walking away from it, so many lessons have been learned, and I do respect relationships more, and I know how much work goes into them even after them, and I value really respect that. So that's my ramble. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on either that perspective, on your own experiences. Again, I am very much aware that my experience was so lucky and easy in the grand scheme of having parents get divorced. The timing was interesting. I do think it was nice because I was older, but there was, again, like the biggest thing I remember is just that takeaway of like, where's my home now? I feel so lost, and college is like already a time where you're like kind of trying to figure out who you are and what you want and all that stuff. It's a confusing sort of, I don't know. It's like the first time you like your hormones really kick in. It's like the second version of that. You know what I mean? It's just like my body was like, what's happening? Oh my God, look at her. So yeah, okay, now that I've done that, I feel like that's the end of this story. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you know any other co-parents? We grew up in high school with a set of co-parents, like a separated set of co-parents that we always like really admired. And I think that's who my parents ultimately like modeled their divorce after. And so I'm curious if you guys know any of those people in your life, seen any of those people, are you those people? And yeah, just another topic for another fold, you know? This is life, this is what makes us us. And I'm grateful for the experience, really grateful for my parents, and very much looking forward to seeing how this trip altogether goes. I will report back on that. I probably won't film while I'm on the trip, but I will definitely have some updates for you guys and some experiences to share. Oh, yes, I poured coffee on this on accident yesterday, and I was so sad, and it totally came out. Chill. All right, y'all, I think I did pretty good. There's a few back there, but I'm not wearing pants, so I'm gonna leave y'all here. Snotting without pants, rambling. Why are you guys still here? I'm so grateful. You're all wacky. Oh, life, am I right? All right, guys, I will see you next week. And if you missed it, I had videos out Monday through Thursday this week, and for so on and forever, I will always have videos Monday through Thursday until I come up with a better idea. All right, guys, I love you, and I will see you next time. Just a side eye over there. She's like, can we be done so I can finish sleeping? Same, girl, same.